I'd like to call to order the Planning Commission for the City of North Ridgeville for January 9th, 2024. Madam Secretary, please call roll.
Ali,
Present.
Grotman,
Present.
Schumann,
Here.
Abens.
Here.
Smolik,
Here.
members of the administration, Planning and Development Director Lieber.
Okay, can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business is some housekeeping. It's going to be election of officers. We'll just go through each position and get some nominations, and depending on how many nominations we have, we'll either do a vote per position or we'll do a line vote for all positions at once. Do I have any nominations for chairman? I'd like to nominate myself, James Smolik, as chairman.
Second.
Okay. Is there any other nominations for chairman? Okay, at this time, I'm going to close nominations for chairman. Is there any nominations for vice chairman?
Nominate Paul Schulman.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do I have any other nominations for vice chairman? Hearing none, I will close nominations for vice chairman. Do I have any nominations for secretary? I nominate Tina. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. At this time, I'll close nominations for secretary. Do I have any nominations for liaison to the Board of Zoning and Building Appeals, which meets on the fourth Thursday of the month?
I'll nominate Paul Grotman.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Do I have any additional nominations for liaison to the Board of Zoning and Building Appeals? Hearing none, I will close nominations for that position. Do I have any nominations for alternate liaison to the Board of Zoning and Building Appeals, which meets on the fourth Thursday of the month?
I'll nominate the chairman, James Smolik.
I'm going to decline based on prior commitments. Sorry. Do I have any other nominations?
I nominate Steve Ali.
Okay. Do I have any other further nominations? Hearing none, nomination. Can I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay. Do I have it? All right. Hearing none, no more additional nominations. I will close that position. All right. The last position is going to be the Planning Commission appointment to the Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council. Do I have any nominations? I'd like to nominate myself.
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any additional nominations for that position? Hearing none, I will close that nomination. Okay, we'll do a roll call on all the positions and their single nominations. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Okay. Madam Secretary, please call roll. Oh, actually, why don't we read out who we have for each position, just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay. For chairman, we have Smolik. Vice chair, we have Schumann. Secretary, Tina. Liaison to BZBA, we have Grotman. Alternate liaison to BZBA, we have Steve Ali. And Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council, Smolik.
Okay. Madam Secretary, please call roll.
Ali,
Yes.
Grotman,
Yes.
Schumann,
Yes.
Abens.
Yes.
Smolik.
Yes.
Okay, everything carries unanimously.
All right. Congratulations, everyone, for your new appointments. All right. Approval of minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the regular Planning Commission meeting of December 12th, 2023? Is there any corrections at this time? Hearing none, those minutes shall stand. Second minutes are from the special meeting on December 14th, 2023. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes, and is there any corrections at this time? Hearing none, those minutes shall stand. As far as correspondence, I believe we have one administrative approval for Thriving Smiles Pediatric Dentistry. The planning director, do you want to just give us a quick synopsis of that?
Mr. Chair, I approve zoning certificates for new businesses where there aren't building improvements or additions or new construction that comes before the commission. So this is an infill of a dentist office where there was a dentist office, but it's a new business to North Ridgeville. So that's the only certificate that's been approved since your last meeting.
Perfect, thank you. All right, master plan update. Well, the city is aggressively working on the master plan. Just some important dates for us planning commission. The tentative plan is that master plan is going to be brought before planning commission on March 12th during our March 12th meeting. The last steering committee meeting is going to be Wednesday, February 21st. Everyone's welcome to attend. I think it's important for some of for the commission members just to get a little bit of a feel on that master plan before it actually comes to the commission in March. So on the Ridgeville Ready website, which tomorrow we will provide a link for, there is an exercise that involves some engagement, so that way you could sort of see what's in the master plan. There are 3 parts to this engagement activity. The first one is recommendations by topic, future land use by a character map, and then they got a little bit about yourself, so that way they have some demographics on who actually reviewed it. And so what's going to happen is it's going to ask your opinion on, the certain aspects of the plan and how you feel, and then basically if you support it or if you have an issue, you could fill in a blank and sort of explain yourself. And also it will show the actual rezoning map, and then you'll see all the new areas with that. So I think it's very beneficial. The one warning is once you start doing the exercise, make sure you complete it. Probably schedule yourself maybe an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. I know I sort of had to stop halfway through, and then I got doing some other things, so I have to restart from the beginning. So just make sure you, like I said, allocate about an hour and 15 minutes for that. And once again, the deadline to submit that's going to be January 15th. Planning Director, do you have anything else on Ridgeville Ready and the master plan?
No, just to reinforce that I think it's important for commission members, especially, I know Mr. Smolik's been on the committee, but if you haven't been following along every step of the way to familiarize yourself with the recommendations in the plan so that when it's presented to the commission in March, it's hopefully not brand new information to you. And then one tiny correction, Mr. Chair, that it's not a rezoning map, so it is a future land use map. It is different than a zoning map, but it will be used as the basis for future land use and rezoning decisions. But it's an important distinction I just wanted to make.
And you're correct, because on the website you actually acknowledge it with a check box.
Do you like that?
I do. Maybe that's why I caught my eye and I kept that title, yes. Thank you for that correction. All right. Does anybody have any questions on the master plan or what's going to be brought before this commission? Okay, like I said, the master plan, this is an important step in the community. The decisions that we are going to make now are going to affect the city here on out, and especially 20, 30 years from now. So hopefully the bedroom community of North Ridgeville hopefully change some based on the action that takes place in this master plan. Okay. All right. Last thing on tonight's agenda was our Planning Commission training follow-up. I guess we could open this up for some discussion. I know there was some discussion on the actual, the way the actual meeting takes place as far as when an applicant provides, their testimony and the order. I don't know if we want to discuss it, but I think it was recommended that we sort of change that. And I believe the best course of action would be when we have an item up on the agenda that the Planning and Economic Director first speaks, and that way she could pretty much indicate, the administration's point of view and the finding of facts for that particular application. And then after that, if there's any additional administrative comments, say, for example, from the engineer. Then after we have the administration, we are going to kick it over to the applicant for them to present their case. And then after the applicant, we are going to open it up to the residents. And I think instead of having a back and forth, we're just going to have all the residents talk, and then we'll gather all their questions and then have, the applicant come back up and then address all the issues. I think it will expedite the meetings, and then that way we don't have that back and forth. Is there any questions or comments on that new order of way we're doing the meeting? Okay. Obviously, that's just a housekeeping item, so there's no requirements for a vote on that. Does anybody have any other further questions or comments in regards to possible additional training that you might feel would be worthwhile to help you as a role as a planning commission member? Okay. I know I had one comment, and I know it affects elected officials a lot more than us. It's the Ohio Sunshine Law. Actually, elected officials actually have to go through formal training on that. We don't necessarily have to, but there is some items in there that may pertain to us, especially if we're out among the public talking about a particular project. So, I was hoping possibly the administration might give us some key points as far as the Ohio Sunshine Law and how it affects this commission. I know the Ohio Attorney General's office does have some publications where you could actually get training, and you could do it online. And I think the manual's like 150 pages, because the Ohio Sunshine Law also deals with public records requests, record retention, which it really doesn't pertain to us. But if anybody has any curiosity, they have a pretty good website that discusses all that. So does everyone, you think that would be beneficial to get some additional training on the Ohio Sunshine Law?
It's a good idea.
Okay. All right. Is there any other possible additional training topics that we could maybe bring to the administration? All right, hearing none.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to follow up on this particular topic. I heard from many of you after the training in December that you thought it was a worthwhile experience, and so I'm glad that you felt that way, and I'm glad that we're also continuing to talk about how we can use the information we learned to make our meetings more productive and the process flow better. I believe that we do have in the budget for this year some funds for additional training, so if there might be a point we get to discuss potential, whether it's bringing another consultant, whether it's sending members to a workshop. So, as we think about topics that we feel we need to bone up on, especially as we work towards master plan implementation, maybe we want to dig into zoning a little bit more and understand kind of some different techniques and things we could be doing along those lines. So I think we don't have to decide tonight, but I just want you to know that there is budget available for training. So let's continue to think about that at future meetings as we kind of get that plan adopted and begin that work. It was one of the things that I recall the trainer saying was that, the planning commission, when you don't have an applicant before you, your tendency is probably to cancel the meeting, right? So rather than convene and start working towards some of the goals for the year. So of course, the first meeting of the year, we don't have an applicant. So, again, could we have canceled the meeting? Potentially, but I think we wanted to also allow this opportunity so that if the commission had goals for the year that you want to focus on, you can talk about that, you can articulate that. I know we're still a couple months away from the master plan being adopted, but I know, from my standpoint, addressing some of that residential zoning, those recommendations around that in the plan are at the forefront of my mind and something that I want to work on as a group. I also just wanted to hear from the commission if you had specific goals you think we should be working towards this year so I can make sure that it gets on my to-do list.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Is there any other further questions or comments from the commission? All right, hearing none. Is there any other additional business that shall be brought before this commission tonight? Okay, hearing none. So the North Ridgeville Planning Commission meeting for January 9th is adjourned.
Those videos see what he's talking about, the master plan, where do you see that?
Turn it around.